in terms of health, it's without a doubt the best way for you to start the new year. Hey, Felix from Fasting for Fitness back again, and it's 2021, so happy new year to everyone. Had a bit of a break, but back with a bang, and what better way to start the new year than a nice long 72-hour fast, and this is the definitive guide to 72-hour fasting. Let's get on with it. Now, whether you've done one of these longer fasts, and let me be clear, when I'm talking longer fasts, I'm talking more than 24 hours, preferably 48 or 72-hour fasts. Whether you've done one of these before or it's your first time, you can use this as a guide, and if you follow all these tips to the letter, you'll find it much easier and a much more pleasant experience, and you'll get all the health benefits out of it, and you won't get yourself into any trouble during the actual fast. So, tip number one. Now, number one is not actually a tip. I'm just going to list a few of the main health and practical benefits by doing these longer 48 or 72-hour fasts a few times a year. So, you've got reduce insulin resistance, reduce inflammation, improve heart health, prevent dementia, rejuvenate stem cells, remove lipofuscin, increase autophagy. Autophagy is a clearing out of old cells, a sort of recycling your body does. It will boost brain function, obviously promotes weight loss, increase growth hormone, delay aging and increase longevity, increases your willpower, breaking bad eating habits. And lastly, again, it's very simple, but something you don't really realize until you actually do it. You are just way more productive. One of the things with a longer fast, you've got to keep busy. If you're sitting around, you're not going to do it. You're going to fail miserably. You have to keep busy, whether that's walking or doing some light exercise or working or whatever it is. You can't just sit around. So the fact that you're keeping busy and the fact that you're not shopping and not cooking and not eating and not clearing up and not washing up, all those hours, you just have to become more productive. So you're going to have 2 or 3 days being really super productive, and that can kickstart all sorts of things. Maybe you're going to start a project you've been putting on the back burner. Maybe you're getting behind at work. Maybe it's just getting through a backlog of hundreds of emails that you've meant to do for weeks. Whatever it is, you're going to be more productive. So that's number one. Like I said, not a tip, just a list of health and practical benefits. Tip number 2 is daily fasting. Now, about 4 or 5 days out from your fast, you want to start doing daily fasts. So ideally, that's a 16-hour fast each day. If you haven't done any fasting at all, then I would start with, say, 14 hours. That's just skipping breakfast. But it's very important, you need to eat enough on those days. You don't want to be going into your long fast with a calorie deficit. Make sure you're going to bed full each evening. So you'll have 2 meals a day, lunch and dinner. Just make sure they're very nutritious and you're going to bed full. You don't want to be going to bed hungry. You need to hit this fast with a body full of energy and full of nutrients. Start doing daily fasts about 4 or 5 days out from your long fast. Start doing daily 14 to 16-hour fasts, and it'll just get your body prepared for the first part of that fast, so the first day won't be a complete shock to the system. So tip number 2, daily fasting. Now you're going to have to excuse the shortness of breath. I'm hiking up through a field with sort of crusty snow, sort of up to about my ankles, and it's pretty steep. So yeah, excuse the shortness of breath. Now, tip number 3. Tip number 3 is what you want to do. You want to get into this fast in a state of ketosis already. It's going to make it much easier. If you're just eating your regular diet and that includes a fair amount of carbohydrates, then it's going to take a day or 2 for all those carbs to be out of your system, and suddenly you're going to crash from that sugar. And especially if you're not used to being in ketosis, you're not going to feel great at all. And day 2 of a 3-day fast is really the hardest day anyway. We want to make it as easy as possible for ourselves. So you want to get yourself into a state of ketosis. Now what that means is you're going to be burning fat for fuel instead of glucose for fuel. So 3 or 4 days out, you want to drastically reduce your carbohydrate intake. But that's not going to be enough, because then you're just going to be hungry. So you need to replace those carbohydrates with fats and protein, fatty cuts of meat, oily fish, lots of nuts, lots of seeds, high fat, high fiber, high protein foods. You want to reduce the root vegetables. You want to completely stop eating bread or pasta. Any sweets or biscuits you need to stop. Sweets, biscuits, cakes, replace those with dark chocolate and nuts. Root veg, try and reduce your root veg intake. replace that with leafy green vegetables. Fruits you want to reduce to just red berries, maybe some watermelon, definitely coconut, definitely avocados. You want to stay away from bananas and apples and things like that for the next few days. So very low carb, high fiber fruits. You want to completely eliminate or at least drastically reduce grains, so wheat and even rice and corn. Try and get those out of your diet. Try and get beans and legumes out of your diet. This is only for a few days. After the fast, you can obviously go back to your usual diet. You want to cook all your meals in either butter or flavorless coconut oil, and use more than you normally would. Add an extra tablespoon when you're cooking. So if you'd use a tablespoon of butter or oil or fat in your cooking, use an extra tablespoon. Do 2 tablespoons of coconut oil or 2 tablespoons of butter, or a tablespoon of each. When you finish your food, when it's on the plate, you want to add at least 1 or 2 tablespoons of olive oil to every meal. This will take a couple of days, but if you stick to this diet for 2 days, you're going to be in ketosis. If you're doing it slower, reducing your carbs slower, then it might take 3 or 4 days. But you want to get to a point where when you start your fast, the day before you start your fast, you want to be eating a lot of fat, medium amount of protein, and very low carbohydrates, and that'll set you up perfectly to get into the fast. Your body will already be in ketosis, and it won't be any big shock to the system when you stop eating completely. So tip number 4, this is the last one of the preparation tips. After this, we're going to get into the actual fast itself. Tip number 4 is more of a practical tip. Start your fast in the evening. If you're starting your fast on Sunday, if you start your fast Sunday evening after dinner, it means you'll only miss 2 dinners. You'll miss Monday dinner and Tuesday dinner, and you'll eat your first meal Wednesday dinner. It just means people with families or kids, dinner is usually the main meal where everyone sits down together, and I think they're really important. So missing as few of those as possible would be the way I'll do it. So I would, after my dinner, I would then start my fast from then, and that way you're only missing 2 dinners. If you start your fast on Sunday afternoon, you're going to miss Sunday dinner, Monday dinner, and Tuesday dinner. So yeah, that's just a practical tip, but it's completely up to you. It makes no difference. 72 hours is 72 hours, so however it works for you. Now, tip number 5, we're into our fast. We've woken up the first morning, we've had dinner last night, we've gone to bed feeling happy and satiated, if a little bit apprehensive for what's to come in the next few days. So you've woken up on the first morning of your fast. Now, the first thing you want to do is have the FFF Electrolyte Drink. Now, it's very simple. I'll put the ingredients in the description of this video as well, but it's water, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, about half a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt, a teaspoon of cream of tartar, squeeze half a lime, top it up with the water, mix it up, dissolve the half a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt in some warm water first, and then put it in like that. And mix all those together, either sip it or just chug it in one go. It's going to give you all the electrolytes you need, as well as the hydration you need. So that's the same for each day. If you're doing a 48-hour or a 72-hour fast, every morning start your day with the FFF Electrolyte Drink. And like I say, I'll put the ingredients and how to make it in the description, but it's very simple and it tastes really nice actually. Now, number 6 is very important one, especially when you're fasting, and that's drink water. Now, there are all sorts of theories and formula online as to how much water you should take on board during your fast. Feel free to look these up, but I think the best policy is just to have a glass or a flask or a bottle of water to hand throughout the day. Always have it there, always have it literally within arm's reach, and just slowly sip it. Take small sips throughout the day. Now, it goes without saying, but it's most definitely worth repeating just how very important it is to drink plenty of water during one of these longer fasts or any fast. Because not only are you not getting the water out of your food, your body's really good at taking any water that's in any food you eat, but you're not eating any food, so that's out the question. But also your kidneys are expelling water and minerals and electrolytes, which is just a side effect of a low carb diet, in this case a no carb diet. So it's like a double whammy. You're not getting the water from food and your kidneys are expelling water because you're on a low carb diet or a no carb diet. So once more, for those at the back, drink plenty of water. And once again, drink plenty of water. Caffeine is your friend, however you get it. Black tea, green tea, black coffee obviously, gum, powders, tablets, however you get it, caffeine can give you that little boost you need. It's also an appetite suppressant, so it's very useful during a fast. If you're using gum or some other product like that, just make sure it's a 0-calorie one. After you've had your FFF Electrolyte Drink, to replace your electrolytes and get hydrated each morning, then give it as long as you want. You can do it straight away or give it a couple of hours. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, obviously no sugar, no milk. If you want to put a tiny splash of something like unsweetened almond milk, that's fine. That stuff is so low calorie, it won't even register. Caffeine is your friend, especially during a longer fast. Reach for the coffee. Okay, number 8. And number 8, I did mention it before in number 1 in the list of health and practical benefits. Number 8 is keep busy. You really have to keep busy during a fast, any length of fast, but these long ones especially. If you need to plan that in advance, if you're doing it over a weekend, saying that's normally your relaxing time, that isn't going to work. You need to plan some things to do, plan some projects, maybe do some work, and then take some days off in the week. However you want to do it, make sure you're busy for the full length of the fast, whether that's writing or reading, doing your day job or doing a side project or whatever it is. Maybe it's a project you've, like I said before, you've put on a back burner. This is the time to do it. Keep busy. 1, your brain will be focused, so you can use that. And 2, if you're sitting around, you're just going to be thinking about food and thinking about how hungry you are and thinking about your stomach. Just keep busy. However you do it, plan to be busy for those 2 or 3 days, the length of your fast. You want to wake up and you want to be busy basically until the time you go to bed. It's going to make things much easier. So number 8 is just keep busy. Now number 9, it's similar to number 8. Number 9 is walk. I don't know why this is, but it's definitely a thing. When you're hungry or when you get those hunger pains, day 2 is probably the worst out of the 3 days of fasting. But when you get hunger pains and you really think you might jack it in or throw in the towel, just go for a walk. It takes 15 or 20 minutes. Now, I don't know what it is. I haven't done the research into this, but it completely stops those hunger pains and those cravings. I think what it could be is our primal brain, when we're hungry, when we go out walking outdoors, especially amongst trees and stuff, I think we lock into, right, now we're looking for food. So you're on the ball, you're sharp, and your hunger goes. Like I say, I haven't researched that, but it's definitely a thing, and it's not only me. If you speak to people that do these longer fasts, a 15 or 20 minute walk, it sort of resets you, and then you're good for another few hours. So yeah, if it gets bad and if you're feeling pretty down and if you're feeling like you might want to just throw in the towel early, then before you do that, just take yourself outside, go to a park or just walk around a block. Just give yourself 15 or 20 minutes. I'll be very surprised if that doesn't work and give you a renewed energy just to get through it, and you'll get through this monumental task. So yeah, number 9 is walk. Now, number 10, like I said before on the drinking water section, your kidneys are expelling water. Now, in that water is lots of minerals and electrolytes too, so it's very important to replace those electrolytes and minerals. Now, the FFF Electrolyte Drink is great, and that kind of covers you. But the thing is, drinking the same drink for 3 days, it's just a bit much, so you need a bit of variety. You're already not eating anything, and there's only so much water and coffee you can drink. So what I do, I get a few tubes of these High 5-0 tabs. Now, they've got all the electrolytes you need. Power Bar also do a similar thing. Any make you can find, get yourself to a Decathlon or a decent cycling shop and you'll be able to find these things. There's lots of different varieties. Doesn't matter what you get, just make sure they're the 0-calorie ones. The other ones are full of sugar, and that's going to stop your fast in its tracks. So make sure they're 0-calorie. So yes, number 10 is electrolyte tablets. You just mix them in a glass of water and they taste pretty nice. You get all sorts of different flavors. So get a few of those and you can just mix it up. Just gives you a bit of variety in your fast. So number 10 is replace those electrolytes. And finally, number 11. And number 11 is make sure you break your fast right. And what do I mean by break your fast right? I found the best system is break your fast with a cup of preferably homemade bone broth, if not store-bought bone broth, if not just a stock cube, a decent stock cube mixed with some hot water. You want to break your fast with that after the 72 hours. You want to sip that slowly, let that sit, give it half an hour, 30 or 40 minutes. And then after that, the best thing to do is, you guessed it, a coconut protein plus shake or any other clean protein shake. Can be a whey protein or a pea protein, something super clean with no additives. Drink that down, and then again, half an hour later, then you're ready to eat your first meal. Make sure it's a nice, nutritious meal, and don't go crazy. You're going to be super hungry, but just eat slowly. So you'll turn everything back on in your body nice and slowly. Don't go rushing into it. So bone broth, followed by protein shake, followed by your first meal, and leave at least 30 minutes in between those 3 things. And enjoy. This is the best bit. 72-hour fast and your first meal. You're going to eat a lot. Make sure it's a nice, clean, healthy meal. Eat as much as you like, and get a good night's sleep, and you're going to wake up in the morning feeling $1 million. As well as this being the definitive guide to 48 or 72-hour fasts, There's another reason I've done this video. I'm recording this on Wednesday morning. I'm going to edit and try and upload it tonight. It might go up Thursday morning. But this Sunday, that's Sunday the 17th of January 2021, we're doing our first Big Fast 21. That's hashtag Big Fast 21 event. It's open to everyone. It's completely free. It's a fully supported 24, 48 or 72 hour fast. You can choose whichever you want. All your questions will be answered. So yes, go to hashtag Big Fast 21 for more info and come and join us. We've got quite a good crowd already and it's going to be fun. And doing these things, especially if it's your first time, it is a bit daunting and you can feel a bit lonely, funnily enough. You know, on day 2 things can get a little bit sketchy around the edges, so it's good to have some support and knowing that other people are going through the same things as you. So yeah, hashtag Big Fast 21 and hopefully see you there. I will catch you on the next one. Later.